All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. Today, we're going to look at how to take a systematic sample. All right, so the story says the woodland creatures of the Magic Grove like to practice different styles of martial arts. Awesome. 126 practice Tai Chi. 114 practice Kung Fu. 112 practice Wing Chun. And 138 practice Capoeira. And 110 practice Leth Wei. Okay, so it says Lucy decides to take a systematic sample of 100 animals to find their mean height. Okay, so what this means is she wants to find the mean height of all the animals in the forest. But she doesn't have time to interview or measure 600 animals. She only has the time or resources to measure the height of 100 animals. So she's going to try and take a systematic survey of a small sample that then reflects the greater population. So it says here, prove that Lucy will need the heights of 21 animals who practice Tai Chi. Okay, so before we jump into this, let's think about this. If we know 126 animals of the total practice Tai Chi, so 126 of the total. So we need to find the total, and we're going to create a ratio here. So to find the total, we just add up everything that we've been told here. So 126 for Tai Chi, plus 114, plus Kung Fu, plus 112 for Wing Chun, plus 138 for Capoeira, plus 110 for Leth Wei, we get 600. So what this is telling us is that in the context of the whole population, 126 of the total do Tai Chi. This makes a ratio, and we want our ratio to be reflective or be reflective of like how many we interview for just those 100. So we can look at this two separate ways. If these were ratios, we would say that, well, this 126 over 600 needs to be equal to 100, because that's my sample, and then whatever this value is, x, okay? And if you cross-multiplied here, you would get 12,600 is equal to 600x. And if you isolate for x, you actually would get x is 21. And that's one way to prove it. Okay, another way you could prove it is if you divide 126 by 600 to get a decimal value for your ratio. So I'm going to draw like a little squiggly line here. So another way you could do it is, well, if you do 126 divided by 600, you get 0.21. And if you multiply that ratio by your sample size, which is 100, again, you would get 21. And what this is saying is that of my 100 I sample, I only interviewed 21 who do Tai Chi because that would be reflective of the greater population. Okay, let's go to question B. And this actually should say 21 and not 9. That's just a typo from my part. Now you know it's really me. So would it be acceptable if Lucy took any 21 that she wanted from this group? If this is not acceptable, how should Lucy select the 21 animals? And what this is saying is, would it be okay if Lucy just walked up to the animals doing Tai Chi, took the first 21, said, you, let me measure your heights? And the answer is no, that wouldn't be okay for lots of reasons. Because just as we want this sample to reflect the whole population, we want these 21 to reflect this whole population of 126 as accurately as possible. And let's create like a visual here. Imagine these animals are practicing Tai Chi, and imagine they line them up from shortest to tallest. So I'm not going to draw 126 lines here. But so imagine these are the animals going from shortest to tallest. They're all lined up, and they get taller and taller and taller because the ones in the back are taller and they can see better and so on and so forth, okay? So imagine this is like the heights, the 126 animals. So if Lucy just walked in and said, you, the first 21, and did this group right here, well, her numbers are going to be way too low. They're going to be way too low because she's not even getting to this tall part in the back, right? So the animals she interviewed, she wants it to be reflective of the whole 126. And so that's, again, why you have to develop a system to do a systematic sample. So if there were like 126 animals doing Tai Chi, and she can only do 21. Well, you can one way to make a system is just to do 126 divided by 21. And that means if you counted every 6, and you'd eventually get to your 21, and that would be spread out across the whole group. So for instance, she would come in and she'd say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to measure you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to measure you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to measure you. And so she would go down the line until she measured 21 animals, and then that would better reflect the whole population. Okay? So how should Lucy select the animals? Well, she should develop a systematic sample, right? And I just described to you that's one way that she could do it. She develops a systematic sample. Okay, last one. It says, how many animals from the other groups will Lucy need? Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit more math on this one. So let's see here. We know Tai Chi, so I'm going to write Tai Chi. We know Tai Chi is 21. Okay, we did that one already. So next is, what's it, Kung Fu? Okay. So for Kung Fu, we just follow the same process, okay? So it's 114 out of 600. All right, actually, I'm going to do this part first, then we can come down to the math. Wing Chun would be 112 out of 600. Capoeira, which is like Brazilian breakdance fighting, pretty awesome. It was 138 out of 600. And coming back up, Lethwei, right here was 110 out of 600. So Lethwei is 110 out of 600. Okay, so following the same process, and we can do, basically we're going to take this and we're going to multiply it by 100. And I'll just do this for all of them because it's the same process. Okay, so here we go. You can do 114 divided by 600. Hit enter if you want to do it this way. Times 100, obviously that's going to be 19. There you go. So you know that this group is 19. Okay, same idea right here. 112 divided by 600. Okay, so we get a bit of we get a repeating decimal. So let's get multiplied by 100. 18.6, so we're going to round up. So we say 19 again, so 19. No problem. And you can just maintain this pattern. 138 divided by 600. Multiply that by 100, it's going to be 23. And then last one, 110 divided by 600. Another repeating decimal, no big deal. Multiplied by 100. You get 18.3, so we just go round down to 18. Okay. And there you go. This would be your sample of your 100. And real quick, a smart move to check this is go ahead and add up these numbers, and they should all add up to 100 because we said we're gonna interview 100 different animals, so this should all equal 100. And just make sure real quick. So 21 plus 19 plus 19 plus 23 plus 18. Boom. You got 100, and those are your answers. All right, good job. Remember, if you want to be notified when I make you more practice problems, go ahead and subscribe so you'll get notified when that happens. And if there's anything you want to see or a skill you need to practice more of or something you want to work on, just leave a comment below, and I will try to make that problem for you. Okay, thank you. Bye.